Documents how the fact sheets that the World Health Organization has online have, I would say, less than transparent origins. And at Environmental Health Trust, we actually have been writing the World Health Organization EMF project, and we have been asking for information as to who wrote the fact sheets, what they are based on, and so forth, because these fact sheets downplay, whitewash the actual body of evidence on electromagnetic radiation, and they're used the world over as proof of safety, when in fact what we know is that the staff at the World Health Organization EMF project is actually one engineer without a medical background, and she refuses to answer our questions, try as we might, simply to know who wrote the fact sheets and how they were written. What was the process by which they were written?
In 2011, the Cancer Institute of World Health Organization, with the help of 31 experts from all around the world, classified radiofrequency radiation, including mobile phone radiation, as possibly carcinogenic. And 3 weeks later, it was very strange because the World Health Organization headquarters issued a fact sheet that dismissed the cancer risks and the cancer classification.
Whilst the IARC classification covers all radio frequencies, Fact Sheet 193 only refers to mobile phones. This creates the impression that the classification does not apply to other uses of radio frequencies, such as masts, Wi-Fi, DECT phones, radars, and industrial uses. But the sentence, "To date, no adverse health effects have been established as being caused by mobile phone use," fails to reflect the accumulating body of evidence. This WHO wording is strangely reminiscent of the discourse of the manufacturers who demand the highest level of scientific evidence.
And the very fact that you can interpret this sentence as contradictory, that means that it's not very clear, and is even a bit misleading. So we asked the WHO in Geneva to correct that part of the fact sheet.
Soit corrigé dans leur fact sheet. Mais malheureusement,
but unfortunately, I've checked, the sentence is still there. This key sentence has enabled manufacturers to deliver a message downplaying the IARC classification, which actually recognizes some tentative evidence for the increase in cancers due to exposure to radio frequencies.
I wanted to know, I asked the responsible person at the World Health Organization, Emily van Deventer, who were the experts that wrote this fact sheet, this new information that was contradicting the Cancer Institute classification, and I had no answer.
Emily van Deventer is the current head of the EMF project within the World Health Organization. In June 2006, she replaced Michael Repaccioli, who she had assisted since the year 2000.
So when I met Emily van Deventer in Brussels 5 months later, I confronted her with my email, and I said I never get any reply to my question, and I repeated my question. Who are the experts that you consulted and helped you write this fact sheet? And she still refused to answer to this very simple question. Who are the experts?
This one was just updated.
Yes, but who wrote it?
I am in charge of the fact sheet.
You wrote
and
it?
That the sentences that
They're updated
and then
with
it is a corporate fact sheet. It is not my fact sheet.
Yes, but who wrote it?
Who changed the sentence?
Yes, was it you, or did you consult external experts?
I changed the sentence. I consulted with a number of experts.
Who were they?
And I have to ask my administration if that is an acceptable question.
Emily van Deventer has no specialist knowledge in the field of health. She is an electrical engineer with expertise in electromagnetic fields. She is a member of the IEEE, the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, which originally set the international standards for public exposure to mobile phones. Emily van Deventer was a lecturer in the Electrical and Computer Engineering Department of the University of Toronto in Canada. Here she carried out research financed by the telecommunications companies Bell Canada and Nortel before joining the WHO. During her public health role, Emily van Deventer remained in close contact with scientists who work for the industry. She co-wrote an article questioning the principle of precaution with some vocal defenders of the interests of electricity companies. In 2006, she joined Michael Repiccioli and Peter Valberg from the product defense consultancy Gradient in signing an article supporting the theory that electromagnetic waves pose no danger to the public.
I shared with you this excerpt from the excellent film Microwave Science and Lies, which you can watch online, because there have been years of scientists and journalists asking the World Health Organization who wrote these fact sheets, which the Federal Communications Commission is actually referring to. I'm going to replay what the FCC Council states about the National Toxicology Program.
The National Toxicology Program, scientists themselves said don't rely on this rat study and extrapolate to humans.
Now, I should add that on the record is extensive documentation documenting how criticisms of the National Toxicology Program are unfounded. Telecom attorney Joe Sandry filed an amicus brief in the case with a statement by Dr. Linda Birnbaum. She's the former director of the National Institutes of Environmental Health Sciences, the former director of the National Toxicology Program. And in her statement, she states that overall, the National Toxicology Program findings demonstrate the potential for radiofrequency radiation, and that's wireless radiation, to cause cancer in humans. Now, she also goes through the findings of the National Toxicology Program. You can read that in the amicus briefs. Please go to our website at ehtrust.org to download the briefs, download the amicus briefs, and read more. Now, what I'd like to point out is that the National Toxicology Program scientists, in all of their communique, have not said that this study doesn't apply to humans, but more specifically, what they've said is you can't directly take the findings and apply to humans, which makes perfect sense. After all, humans are not rats. However, if something is affecting a rat or causing cancer in a rat, there are implications for human health. That's, after all, why this study was designed. In fact, the Food and Drug Administration asked for the National Toxicology Program to do this study. Now, the question is, why would the Food and Drug Administration ask for the National Toxicology Program to do a study on animals if it wasn't relevant for human health? And they actually state in their nomination of the for the NTP to do this research that they needed to look at animals because, of course, you can't experiment on people, and you wouldn't see rises in cancers and other effects for decades because of how long it takes to develop brain tumors and other cancerous tumors in people. The study also found DNA damage and a type of damage to heart tissue, and this was all at levels that were considered non-thermal. They didn't appreciably increase the heat. Now remember that the FCC is saying that heating is the only harm. Now, the National Toxicology Program study did find that the wireless exposure caused clear evidence of tumors in male rats, and those tumors were the same cell types as are found in case control studies in humans who have used cell phones for more than 10 years. If wireless radiofrequency were a drug, we believe that it would be banned and pulled off the market by now because of all the reported side effects.